My name is Alice. I guess, like, yeah, do you mean sort of, I guess, yeah, so I like to make things, and whether it's sort of sound, and I recently started making clothes for myself, only 2 things, and it's hard to know how to answer in whether in a way where it's like I do these things, these are the things that I do, or sort of more about who I am as a person. I feel like I really enjoy being silly and my favourite things is like laughing with my friends, and I really enjoy meeting new people. And although sometimes, depending on the mood, sometimes I can feel a bit, if you're in a low energy mood, just feel a bit sort of awkward. But then when I'm not feeling low energy, it's kind of like one of the best things is talking to people. Yeah, so that's a bit about me. What do I think about most? I think there's definitely one part of my brain that thinks about, like, what do I need to do? Like, I've got to do some emails today. I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do... I think a lot of my brain is sort of ticking off to-do lists. But then I think there are other things that I think about a lot, like, I think the things that I try not to think about. So I think since I was quite young, I was always quite existential, and I thought about death and what that means, and like my death and the death of people that I love. So that's something that I try not to think about, but I think probably as a result it pops up. And then I think similar to what you were talking about earlier, I think about what other people think of me, whether it's in a positive way or a negative way. I think there is part of your brain thinks about those insecurities, and I'm trying to overcome those, I think. Yeah, so I think those are some things that I think most about. Mindset. I guess maybe sort of the attitude that I guess it feels more purposeful, like you can choose your mindset, so it feels like something that you can affect, or something that you can try and change to put you in a certain state, I guess. So it's something that you can change through doing things to put you in a certain state, but also if you don't do that, then it can kind of just naturally fluctuate between positive and negative feelings. I think on the whole it's quite a doing mindset. I think yeah, I always am kind of thinking about the next project or the next thing, and I think that doesn't necessarily mean it's positive or negative. I think it can fluctuate between the two. So I'd say on the whole it's that. But one thing I've been trying to do more is have more of a being mindset, and I guess trying to not slow my brain down, or just observe my brain more and try and like make it more still sometimes and outward looking. Yeah. I think definitely as I've been thinking about the way my brain works and sometimes how it can take over when it doesn't need to, and that you can actually live. You don't always have to be in your brain. You don't always have to have your mind whirring, and it's actually really useful to try and step back sometimes. It's made me realise just how much we, as a society, have made, how kind of prioritised this like busy mindset of like trying to do more, trying to look forward, look into the future, always, I was talking about earlier, always waiting like to arrive and never actually thinking about in the moment what's going on. And so you always have this destination somewhere in the future that you just will never get to, because what that destination was for you now, or what it is for you now, maybe when you get there you'll be thinking about the next thing. So I think a lot of people are living like that, I think, and we live right now in a society that tries to distract us as well and where perhaps we do distract, and I'm definitely guilty of this, like trying to distract yourself with whatever it might be, whether it's your phone or anything, in order to avoid actually trying to change your mindset to actually register what's going on around you more. I used to really care about what people thought. Like, I think, apart from with my close friends growing up, when I would be really silly, I was really shy about talking to new people. And I remember, like, our neighbours coming round once and then, like, hiding in my mum's, study. And, yeah, I think that's changed a lot. Like, when I was a teenager, just anyone who I thought was kind of cool as well, I'd be like, oh God, I can't talk to them. And definitely that has changed a lot, and now I actually really enjoy pushing myself to do that. And it doesn't feel like it's pushing anymore. So yeah, I think that's changed a hell of a lot, because I remember being kind of nervous when I was in sixth form, like going to parties or anything like that. There was always like sort of feeling a bit anxious about going, and like, what would I say, and oh no, like what if there's an awkward silence or something. And I think now that's completely changed. And I think also I had a breakup earlier last year, and then that kind of pushed me, all of a sudden being alone again and not having that person to sort of fall back on. I kind of pushed myself to do things like go to social events alone, or like go to parties alone, and then just meeting new people there. And that really, I realised how fun that can actually be, just going and seeing what happens. And you can always leave if you don't like it, but actually some really kind of fun adventures or like new people you meet come out of it. I think health and well-being is taking time to do things that are just for you, and whether it's just like gardening or seeing some friends or just cooking a meal and just focusing on that. I think it's taking time to do those things that actually I really enjoy without worrying about any end product, and only thinking about, or not even thinking about it, only just like enjoying doing that thing. I'd say I'm working on it. I'm trying to, yeah, and just taking time to go for walks or go on a run or cycle to places, even if it's longer, and just actually trying to build that into my daily life. Yeah. I think maybe it's the ability to not have a bit of distance between yourself and things that could kind of disturb you, whether it's like disturb what you want to be doing or kind of affect your mood. I think it's probably having sort of something inside of you that you can return to when something happens that makes you be able to kind of carry on and try and let whatever it is affect you less. I'd say before recently, I'd say it was from other people, from like my parents or from friends like making me feel better or things like that, or just being around people who I love. That's definitely a part of it, but I think I'm trying to find that more in myself, and especially when I think that's part of kind of becoming an adult, is it's kind of you're in it, you're in life, you're the only person who's going to be along with you for the whole way. So it's trying to build up that strength from within, and those defenses maybe is the wrong word to think about, because you don't want to like close up or necessarily distance yourself from others, but just to build that kind of confidence and sort of kind of respect and care for yourself, I'd say. When have I most needed strength and resilience? That's a really difficult. I think maybe when I can feel like I can think of like a few moments where I've needed it. I feel like maybe when I was so the year after uni, when I was working at an environmental charity, and then I was just burnt myself out entirely because I was working at this charity, but I was also thinking like, oh, do I want to go into the arts? And I kind of just went through this massive sort of crisis about a decision whether I should like move on to do the arts. And I think then I just felt quite lost and tired and burnt out. And then when I did do that and I went to the Fringe, and that was amazing, but then I had this breakup, and it was kind of like there was just quite a few different parts that felt like it felt so uncertain, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I was like, oh, I'm going to be this freelance thing, and so much of my life had changed so quickly. And I think I've slowly been building up that strength and resilience since then, slowly figuring myself out. And I think potentially obviously we don't know, but if like the pandemic had happened then, like I think it would have been a lot harder. And it definitely has been hard, but I think over this year I've just sort of built up my toolkit a bit of how to deal with difficult stuff. So I'd say probably then, but only through kind of having moments in your life where you feel kind of lost, so you build that up again. Yes. It all felt like it was tapping into the same place, and this kind of stuff that you don't necessarily talk about with other people. I'm trying to remember the earlier questions, but it does feel connected, because it feels like it's talking about the patterns that kind of re-emerge, whether in the mind or in life, and how you deal with them, and sort of thinking about the things that you can build up in order to help deal with those better, I think. Do I see them in, like, do I hear about them much, or I don't think so. I think sometimes, but I feel like people don't talk about this kind of stuff that much. Yeah. I feel like, especially right now, you kind of want to be... I definitely feel like, oh, I've got to be lighthearted, gotta be funny, gotta do X, Y, Z, and yeah. There are some people who you definitely do have those deeper chats with, but I think on the whole, it's that kind of thing of being distracted again. Yeah. Ooh. Just like my tummy's rumbling. That is probably always a work in progress, and I feel like there will be times in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, in over decades where you kind of go, oh yeah, I've got this, and then, moments later, it's not that anymore. And I think that's one thing I've noticed recently is like when I've been trying to think about this stuff more, one day I can be like, yeah, I feel like I'm starting to get somewhere, and then you can so easily sort of revert back to these behaviours you've learned or these thought processes you've learned. So it's just about trying to keep going, keep learning and stuff. Yeah.